I sent you the text. I got an update about this. I was completely shocked. There's literally no way this happens. But it piqued my interest a little bit. Certain running back from Green Bay. He's a free agent this offseason, and apparently the Steelers are one of the teams interested. What does this mean to you? Is it possible? How much is he going to try to demand?
Well, I like it. And I think I texted you that too.
You were like he would be awesome here.
Yeah, because he's very dynamic. Can run between the tackles, can hit the perimeter, can catch. He does a lot. Obviously, he's used to playing in high stress situations, being on a team like Green Bay where they're constantly in the limelight, constantly winning. You're with Aaron Rodgers, so you're already accustomed to playing with a Hall of Fame quarterback and what the demands of that are. And honestly, from a money standpoint, I don't see a running back this offseason from a free agency standpoint getting paid more than $7 million.
Really?
And that's high end. I just don't see it because
he's not Dalvin Cook. He's not Derrick Henry. He's good though.
Like think about this. Derrick Henry is the best in the league, right? Come off a 2,000-yard season, offensive player of the year, led the league in rushing last year. His contract was what, $10 million?
$10 million.
$10 million, because he was going to franchise tag it first, and they just gave him a deal that would pay him $10 million.
I wonder what he would be if he came off this year though, like back-to-back seasons like that.
Back-to-back
but
season.
still,
but you know what the knock would still be? He had 397 touches this year. So
it's lose-lose for running back these days.
You're either going to show how durable you are, but I'm going to use that against you, or you don't get enough touches, so your numbers aren't as high, and I'm going to use that against you. So either way, you know you're in that situation.
The perfect time to probably get your money is how Zeke played it.
Yes, like if
what
you
was
can
it
get
after your third year?
If you can get them to pay you early like that, you're fine. Because once you fall off, running backs we see they fall off. I mean, people are even questioning Zeke right now in terms of, are we going to see the Zeke that we knew before that was dominant, could carry a team by himself? Or is it going to be where he's just a really good running back, but
you're overpaying him?
You're overpaying him, right? And that's the scenario. So that's why I don't think that we're going to see a running back this offseason, that's a free agent, get paid, more than that $10 million cap. Because if Derrick Henry got 10, I'm not paying any back that's coming out right now more than that. Saquon isn't up for a contract right now, and he's coming off an ACL. McCaffrey's already paid. You saw how guys like L. Bell and Gurley, once they got the mega deals, how the injuries really caught up with them and they kind of fell off
a year or two after the team was willing to move on.
So for me, I'm just like, if I'm doing business with Aaron Jones, if I love him, I offer him 7. But if I'm the Steelers, I'll probably call him with 4.5, and hit him with the look, man. I understand you was on a contender in Green Bay. You could come and be a part of a contender and be the reason why here, versus there, everything you did was going to be what? Oh, it's Aaron Rodgers, because he's the MVP. Because
you can be an X factor here,
right? Whereas here, even though Ben is here and he's going to get his share of credit, they're going to also say, well, hey, you were a big upgrade. We haven't seen a back like you since whoever. You know what I mean? Like they would go that route. So I'm like, you could sell them with that. You could sell them with, hey, man, you're going to get Coach Tom. You're going to get organizational stability. You're not going to have to worry about going to one of these, New York Jets type scenarios where you're going to get paid well, but the dysfunction there is going to be detrimental to your career. You could get the best of both worlds. And from a weather standpoint, it's an upgrade, similar to Green Bay, but an upgrade weather-wise. So, you could spin it. And the 4.5, you might be like, what? I like that 4.5. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of teams that they say, I'll give you 3 because you're a running back. And it's just not worth it to pay those guys.
That's crazy because he had a good year.
He did, but
he had a really good year.
Like we just said, Derrick Henry came off a lead in the league in rushing, and his contract was only $10 million. And we said his style compared to Gurley, Le'Veon, and Zeke was so different, right? But still, he was very consistent, very productive, and he capped at 10. It's just like that's where the market is set for right now. Now we know somebody 5-10 years from now could reset the market to the new wave of high paid backs again. But right now, the residue of that last class they got paid, they're going to feel that this time.
Yeah.
I feel like for the next 2 to 3 years, we're not going to see a back really get that record breaking Ty Gurley, L. Bell, Zeke deal, man.
Dude, honestly, like as much as it is Aaron Jones and how good of a year he's had these past 2 seasons, part of me's like, man, how much different could the production be if we just draft a guy in the 2nd or 3rd round this year?
Like seriously, that's the conversation. So that's why, like, I don't think his market is gonna be crazy. Like, I would still prefer him over drafting a guy unless you're getting an Etienne or a Najee Harris or one of those caliber guys. I'm still taking him over anybody in the 2nd and 3rd or wherever from there because he's already established. He doesn't have a ton of mileage on him. And I know he can play in these, bigger game scenarios. Whereas with
Unfortunately,
rookies,
had that fumble, huh?
Yeah, that was the part, right? But to me, it's just like I told you before, like with rookies or with draft picks in general, I don't value them the same way just because of my personal experiences of being a later draft pick, beating out first rounders, top 15 picks. You know what I mean? So when I think of that, it's just like, give me the proven player over the prospect. But if you can't get the proven player, then obviously you want to go for the best prospect that you could get. But I just think in this scenario, Aaron is going to be very affordable. I think.
Okay, interesting.
Like I would be shocked if he signed for more than 7. I just don't see it. Like I said,
you actually think like 4 might be realistic?
I seriously.
And depending on Ben's contract, right, how we do things with like DeCastro, Pouncey, maybe we would have enough.
Like seriously, like they're gonna,
and then we could just load up on the offensive line in the draft. Honestly,
like seriously, they're gonna make some moves, man. So we're gonna see how they play this thing out. But the big thing that Ed brought up as it pertains to the offensive line and stuff like that, and why it's another reason why it's not a foregone conclusion that Ben is back. Ben has the same conversation that he had when he talked about not caring about the money. His whole thing was not caring about the money this year, but he wanted that money to go to guys like Juju and Pouncey. Yeah. If you're bringing back Pouncey, I don't necessarily, you know what I mean? Like now you see how, okay, well that means you're Juju not going to draft, back, right? But you're not going to draft an O-lineman if you're bringing back Pouncey, right? I mean, not necessarily you want to draft the guy now.
Maybe left tackle.
But people they're still having their little reports that they're looking at potentially having Banner and one of those guys, either Banner or Chooks, kind of compete out there at left tackle, move Filer to right tackle potentially. Like we've been seeing some of that stuff as well because obviously they're going to try to do business with Matt. So those are the scenarios that, it really has multiple impacts. So it's like, if it's the package deal of Ben's coming back money-wise, if Pouncey and Juju are back, that's a different conversation than just Ben coming back. Ben by himself, we're open to that. Absolutely. But if you're talking about, all right, we're going to have to pay Juju, around his market value to be here. If you're Pittsburgh, I don't think that makes a lot of sense because of the guys you have on your roster. Not saying Juju doesn't deserve to get paid, but if you're
good
Pittsburgh,
at receiver,
we're good there.
I think Washington could step up. Maybe it'll be a little bit lesser version of Juju, but I don't know about how much. I mean, you talk highly of him.
I think Juju's the better do-it-all guy, the blocking, the effort plays, the combat catching. But to me, James Washington is the better just receiver in terms of going to get the ball, getting open. I feel like he's the better guy in that. And I think if he was in the same scenario, using him in the slot versus linebackers like how they do with Juju.
You think he'd get a little more separation?
Absolutely, I do. But I think because he's capable of playing on the outside, they're going to play him on the outside. I think they'll probably move either Deontay or use Claypool a little bit more in there because it's going to be obviously a lot more action. But any of those guys, then we could
draft the guy in the 3rd round.
But any of those guys we just named, it's like we're good there. And the Steelers have done a great job of drafting receivers. They've hit on a ton of those guys. So it just doesn't make sense for them to spend that money on Juju. But depending on how bad Ben wants him back, now you see how very much nuanced this whole conversation is going to be this week, man.
Oh, yeah. Who knows what like the main selling points of the priorities are for each Ben and the organization.
Because we know that Ben has said numerous times, well, him and Pouncey, they have this little pat where they want to retire together. So first, okay, looked like Pouncey was going to retire. Then it's, all right, Ben said he's going to come back, so now he's trying to talk Pouncey to come back. But then it's like, if you're the organization,
you want Pouncey to come back for like $2 million.
You know what I mean? Like, what number is that? And then it's like, okay, if Pouncey's coming back, all right, what number? And then also, how much less are you going to take Ben if I got to bring him back? Because I still feel like I need to upgrade other positions as well. So that's why this week especially is going to be big when these conversations start getting leaked so we can know what's going on because, I need some more info.
Stay tuned.
Hey, dude, it's getting interesting, man.
Probably something dropped as we're talking right now, huh?
No, easily, bro. But like that's the scenario, and that's why you said like it can be a scenario where Aaron Jones can be here for that $4 million. Like it could be a case like that.
Yeah.
But it could also be a case where none of these guys are available because of the different things that Ben has said that he would like and the different, decisions that are going to have to be made. So as always, get your popcorn ready. Stay tuned, man.